Welcome back to IMG Baseball Academy's developmental series on outstanding infield play. Now let's talk about the physical setup of your position. Now we're going to talk about number one, what you do pre-pitch in your physical setup, and number two, what you're doing in terms of executing fielding a ground ball. Now, in a general sense, we're going to be talking about your middle infield positions, shortstop and second base, versus your corner infield positions, third base and first base. Now, as a middle infielder, as a shortstop or second baseman, you're going to put yourself into a more athletic position and allow yourself to do so since you are further away from home plate with some starter steps or a key-up position. Either walking towards home plate and putting yourself into that athletic position, or allowing yourself just to be into a more athletic position. Now, you're doing this because it allows you to be able to move to your left or to your right in a more responsive position from that athletic position to start. Now, when we go to the corner infield positions, namely third base, you're already going to start in a more reactive position. With your glove low to the ground, your legs bent, with your shoulders back and chest up, already putting yourself into a position, if need be, to knock down that baseball if it's hit hard right at you. Now that we've gone over your pre-pitch positioning and how to get yourself into an athletic position to field a ground ball, let's talk about the proper way to execute fielding that ground ball. Now let me stress that you need to use your legs when fielding a ground ball. Too many amateurs start to use their back and don't rely on the dependence of using their legs when fielding. Now, we put our players here at the IMG Baseball Academy through a lot of intense leg strength training because you need to be able to field a ground ball the same way you do the first time and the same way you do the 500th time when you're doing your constant repetitions. So let's take a look at Edgar here and how he gets himself into the proper position. Now notice how he starts using his legs to get himself lower to the ground. By using his legs, now he is in a more athletic position and a more reactive position to be able to get his hands freely out in front of his chin. Now notice with his hands out in front of his chin, he has the ability to move his hands in a more reactive position in any direction in which he chooses. Now, when he has his hands out in front of his chin, notice how his shoulders are slightly rolled back, how he has his chest up as if he's taking a deep breath in. That ball happens to take a bad hop and his hands aren't in a position to be able to get that ball, he's able to knock it down with his chest and still be able to make a good play on it. Now let's take a look at his footwork, on where his weight is positioned on his feet. Now when his legs are bent down to the ground, notice how his body weight is out in the front of his feet, how his chest is basically either even or in front of his knees so that he is in a more reactive position to go towards a baseball. You'll never come to a complete stop, per se, when you're fielding a ground ball. He's going to be working through a baseball and working from right to left when fielding so that when we talk about the footwork in our later video series, you're going to see how the footwork comes in play after fielding the ground ball. Now coming up in our third video, we're going to be talking about my favorite portion and the most overlooked in the game of baseball, the proper way to play catch.